Hey guys, and welcome to Lex's World. How does smoking weed affect your IQ long term? Are the effects significant? Let's discuss. First off, as my regular viewers might know, it is very difficult proving that cannabis affects something like IQ one way or another. There's a lot of issues due to A, the complexity of cannabis, and B, the problems around measuring IQ. Never mind establishing clear causation between cannabis use and IQ scores. But there's a few general correlations that studies on the issue seem to have come up with. As most of the studies show, smoking weed under certain circumstances seems to lower IQ years later. Those circumstances revolve around age during use and frequency of use. A fair amount of research indicates that people who start using cannabis frequently while under 18, in other words while their brain is still developing, hurt their long-term IQ score. Not by crazy margins, but it does drop. Makes sense, since using other substances while under 18 can affect brain development badly as well. Also, people who smoke weed heavily long-term, even as adults, end up with slightly lowered IQ scores on average than those who smoke in moderation, or not at all. Moderate or occasional use of cannabis by adults has no noticeable impact on IQ scores. That's the gist of all the research. If you're wondering what's more harmful to your IQ, starting consumption young or smoking heavily, the answer is starting young. That seems to drop the scores most. That said, even with people who started smoking young and heavily, we're not talking about turning scores of 150 into scores of 100. We're talking 5 to 10 point drops on average. Not exactly earth-shattering numbers. Now that we've talked a little bit about long-term effects, on a slightly lighter note, I was wondering how much your IQ drops while you're high. So to have a little fun, I decided to do an experiment on myself. A few months ago, I got really baked and did an online IQ test. Now I'll include a link in the description to the test I used. And at the end of the day, I got a score of 121. Now I was good 8.5 out of 10 stoned. I got so baked partly because I wanted to make sure that my memory of the test would be bad even on the following morning, and I made a point of not checking the correct answers. After the test, I waited 4 months. Then I went and did the test again sober. It definitely felt different doing it the second time around. My score the second time was 140. That's a pretty big difference. So clearly trying to take the test while stoned impacted my results. I could actually feel the difference while doing the test the sober time around. It was way easier to follow the questions. This wasn't exactly a super scientific test, but it was fun, and I think that the large difference is noteworthy. Feel free to check your high Q or your sober IQ score if you got a spare half hour in the description. And that's the show for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe and hit that like button. See you guys.